He hadn't spoken the whole time since the injury.
Okay, we're starting. We're learning the Sikha of Tashin Aleph, and we're at the end of the Sikha. The end of the Sikha of Peireh Chadasha Miti Teitzei. We're starting on page 582, the last few paragraphs of the Sikha. Okay, so this entire Sikha began with the question of how could it be that the shechita of the Shiur Bar La'asad Lavai takes place? How? With the fins of the Levyasan. There's this big fight going on between the Shiur Bar and the Levyasan, and finally the Levyasan is victorious. How? With its fins, it will slaughter the Shiur Bar. But the question is, then that Shiur Bar is going to be used for the meal, for the big festive meal that we're going to have, La'asad Lavai. How could you use such a shechita which is possible? So the Rebbe spoke about this by Riches al Pi Nigla al Pi Chassidus in the Sikha. The Rebbe here finishes off with a deeper pshat on this inyan based on everything that we learned in the entire Sikha. So to explain the reason, she'inyan zeh mudgesh dafke v'heter shchita sherabar b'sanpiri alav yasan. This idea, the revelation that will happen La'asad Lavai, which was described before in the Sikha, in what is it expressed? How does it all come out in this story of the Shiur Bar being slaughtered by the fins of the Levyasan? Yeshleima, we can explain as follows. What's B'chalal this fight? What does this mean that La'asad Lavai, there's going to be a fight between the Shiur Bar and the Levyasan? It has to have some ruchnisdige significance. We're talking here about La'asad Lavai, when Moshiach comes. This is what Moshiach is all about, that this massive Shiur and this Levyasan are fighting with one another. What is this all about? Okay, so the Alter Rebbe explains this in Likutei Torah. What's the Shiur Bar and what's the Levyasan? It's explained in Chassidus, it's in Likutei Torah and in other places. Hachiluk shbein Levyasan l'Shiur Bar ba'avedas Adam. What's the difference between them? They both represent different ways of Yid serving and connecting to Hashem. Shelevyasan shemekayme b'yam. Levyasan, its place is in the sea. Alma diskasya. It represents Alma diskasya. Just like the fish that live in the sea that are covered, and they're surrounded and covered by their source of life, which is the water. This refers to a person that serves the Eibishter on such a level where the Gashmistic world does not matter to him, the challenges of this world, the physicality of the world doesn't exist in his life. His entire occupation is unifying and bringing the unity of the Eibishter into the world with, on one level, another level, greater intensity, just like it is in Alma Diskasya. In Alma Diskasya, you take a fish out of the water for a short period of time, it dies. So it recognizes its source of life. It doesn't need anyone to remind it of it. A human being or all other creatures living on dry land starts feeling independent, starts feeling like I exist, I'm here, I'm on my own. A bruim shabiyam, feel constantly the Eibishter that's with him. That's not the challenge. We're talking about in Avodas Hashem. This refers to a person that feels the Eibishter in his life constantly. Elamai, the Eibishter is Ein Sof. So if the Eibishter is Ein Sof, you can climb levels higher and higher and higher. That's the Avodah of Alma Diskasya. Shiur Bar shenimtzi b'yabasha. On the other hand, the Shiur Bar, which is on dry land, Alma Disgalia, the revealed world. So revealed over here means in the sense that all creations in Yabasha are walking around and they're disconnected from their source of life. A person can't live without having bread that grows from the ground or any other food that grows, and so to other creatures. But nevertheless, you're not attached to your source of life. You walk around independently. This is a person that's living in the physical world. He engages with the physical world and he has to refine and elevate the physical world around him. Okay, so it's two completely different types of Avedis. In Likutei Torah, there actually, the Alter Rebbe says that the Aveda of the fish, the Levyasan, is the Aveda of a tzaddik. It says in Zohar, tzaddik is compared to Nune Yama, to the fish that swim in the water. And then there's the Aveda of the ordinary person, the Beinini, or other people that are on a darge where the Welt, the Metzius of the Welt exists, it's significant, it's Teifes Mokim. And the Eibishter creates most Yidden actually to be like the Shiur Bar, which is on dry land, in order to engage with the world, in order to elevate the physical world around them. So now what happens when Moshiach comes? So now if we stop at this point, it would seem like that there's a big battle going on between these two types of Yidden that are serving Hashem. What happens when Moshiach comes? The Levyasan will shech the Shiur Bar. Which Aved is more valuable? So So the Rebbe says, "V'yesh b'zeh mashem b'zeh." Each one has an advantage that the other doesn't have. The Avodah of the Levyasan is a person that elevates himself out of this world, out of the limitations of the world, and he connects to the Eibush on a very high level. They reach and they grasp very high levels of revelation. Aval, on the other hand, it's lacking. It doesn't have that power to bring it down below to the lowest elements of the world. His entire Avodah is by running away, by leaving this world, by attaching to the source above, not by associating and engaging with the world below. So there's a very big milah of going very high, but you're missing the advantage of bringing the Eibush down to the lowest elements of existence. Ilu ha'avodah begashmis, on the other hand, the Avodah of those that do serve the Eibush in the Gashmias of the world, so they are involved with the world and they bring the Eibush down to the lowest places of the world. But at the same time, they're not connected to the Eibush to such a high degree. The very fact that you have to engage with such a low world means that you're bringing down the Eibush there, which is more limited, which is related to the world below. So there's a Maila to each Avodah. Sometimes the point of that this is brought in many places. Sometimes it says that this is also the difference between a Bal Tshuva or a tzaddik. A Bal Tshuva is a person that is running away from the things in the world that he was involved in. A tzaddik is a person that's born and goes in the straight path, and he's not afraid of the world. He's able to bring down into the world. Sometimes it's explained this way. Sometimes many different ways how this concept is explained. But you have two different kinds of Avedis. People that are engaging with the world and bringing down the Eibush into the world, and people that are the holy tzaddikim, or people that are on a higher level, maybe Bali Tshuva, that are running away from the world and they're above. Now what happens? Lasad Lavai. So Lasad Lavai, actually, it's not that one will be victorious over the other, as it seems like from the simple story, that the Levyasan shechts the Sheir above, but rather Lasad Lavai yischabru beis amaylas yachtav. Lasad Lavai, both of these advantages are joined together, and you can get the benefit of both of them. Shagam lamata, that even in the lowest elements in the world here, yumshachu v'yizgalo ha'eris hanailim be'yaser, the highest levels of revelation will be revealed. So usually it's either one or the other. If you're going down into the world, you're going to have to compromise on the intensity of the revelation in the source. If you're connecting to the source, so then you have to compromise on the degree that you can draw it down. But if there's no gedarim, there's absolutely no rules at all. And the shleimus of the Eibush is revealed, the greatest intensity of revelation in the lowest place in the world. This is the idea of slaughtering. Slaughtering doesn't just mean, it doesn't say that the Sheir Abad is going to be killed by the Levyasan. If it would say killed, then that would mean that the value of the Sheir Abad will be destroyed. It doesn't say killed, rather it says shchita. What does shchita mean? Ein v'shachat elo Moshiach. V'shachat means you draw him up, you draw him closer. Hasher Abba, the Sheir Abba will be shechted. Hainu shetizgale mailas ha'eres al yonim ha'aliyah shalidei alev yasam bit in yoni ha'aved lamata Sheir Abba. Even the Sheir Abba, which refers to the yid that's serving the Eibush there in Gashmias, in his Aveda he'll be elevated and he'll include the Maila of the Aveda of the Levyasan, that you can bring down the most intense revelations to this yid that's serving the Eibush here below. That's the type of the Shechita here. So it's not a victory of the Sheir Abba against the Levyasan Adarabah. It's joining together both Mailas. That's the ultimate shleimus of Lasad Lavai. So Hainu, in other words, what this means is as follows. Sheshchita Sheir Abba, this whole story about the Sheir Abba being slaughtered by the Levyasan, he teichin hasach hakol the klolos masenav v'deseinav b'biraylam. This one story gives you the content of the bottom line of what our entire Aveda of all these thousands of years have accomplished, which means as follows: Shagam ha'inyanim. Sorry, missed a few words here. Ulachain. So therefore, yizgala bezet tachlis hashleimus the klolos Aveda. In this incident here, this expresses the ultimate shleimus that we come to through our Aveda, which means Shagam ha'inyanim achin nailam. Even the highest levels of revelation of godliness, the asagas hashlila, which cannot be comprehended in a positive and active way. It's only Levyasan, which is Alma de Escasia. It's hidden, and you could only grasp it today by negating what it's not. It'll be drawn down into the mitzias of the person that he'll understand and comprehend this, which is what the Sheir Abba represents, Alma de Esgalia. So therefore, then Yater HaKadosh Baruch Hu Achilas She'er Bar B'Shchita Asura, the Eibishter will be mater. It will be permitted to eat this She'er Bar, even though the Shchita is not usually allowed. Al Yedei Zeh She'Teira Chadasha Meiti Teitzei. Chiddush Teira Meiti Teitzei. There's a new halach in Teira that will be revealed. What's this chiddush? Shekam hadarga achi nailas b'Teira, the highest level of Teira, which the pasuk refers to as meiti daike. It's a level of Teira that comes from the essence of the Eibishter himself. She'eni yechayil is galas b'zman hazeh, which cannot be revealed today. V'shayich bara kasagas hashlila bulvad. Today, these levels of Teira we could only understand and grasp by knowing what it's not. Miiti teitze. Teitze means it'll come out, it'll be revealed. Sheteitze v'tumshach v'tovay lamata. It'll go out, it'll be drawn down, it'll arrive here below in the lowest places in the world. And everybody will be able to comprehend and understand this. Shiur, as the Rambam says, the Rebbe concludes with the words of the Rambam at the end of the Sefer of Rambam. Shiur kol Yisrael chachamim gedolim. All Yidden will be great, wise people. V'yodim dvarim astumim, and they will know all these hidden secrets. So the Rebbe emphasizes the v'yodim, the things that were hidden until today will be known. And v'yasigu das beiram kifi kayach adam, and they'll grasp the das of their creator. Kifi kayach adam. The Rebbe is emphasizing kifi kayach adam. Usually, when you read the Rambam and it says kifi kayach adam, it sounds like the Rambam is putting a certain limitation on how much we'll be able to grasp. We'll only be able to grasp as much as humanly possible, but not more. But in other places, the Rebbe says, and that's the emphasis here as well, Kifi Kayach Adam is not coming to emphasize the limitation. On the contrary, it's coming to emphasize an advantage, that the greatest and highest levels of the Eibishter will be penetrated into your Metzias. It's going to be in the Kayach Adam. It's not going to be something that will be B'derech Makiv, but it will become part of your Metzias. Shenemar, as the Pasuk says, Kimala Ha'aretz, and Oretz, which is the dry land, refers to Almud Esgalia. So the Rambam starts off with the pasuk that says Oretz, referring to a place which is Gashmias, separated from the source. And that Oretz itself will be filled with Deos, Havaya, Kamayim, Layom, which is Almud Esgasia, where the true essence of the Eibush is revealed. Mechasim, it will cover the entire world, even the lowest elements in Yavasha as well.
It's like
fill in the blank. The message it says also should have do something to the Leviathan also. It's horns.
Yeah.
So each one will do something to the other.
Yeah.
like the Kasna, Rivka, and Yitzhak, like Ma'aban.
Each one is giving its
Giving
mind
its
to the
mind.
other.
Correct.
This is story,
Correct. That's the idea here of the Shechita. Yeah. Akapanim, we're almost there. The Rebbe, where are we today? We're a couple of days after Yud Shvat. It's Chamishasa B'Shvat, the Shleimus of the month of Shvat, Chodesh Achad Asar, and the Rebbe began the Aveda bringing the Shechina down Lamata Masaret Tvachim. And this is the Shleimus. We're there. We're moments away from the revelation of Moshiach. May it be taken from the Yad Mamish.
Amen.
Okay.